What happens when a handshake says more than words ever could? Watch as a veteran's emotional words to President Trump leave everyone in awe. This moment of honor and gratitude will move you to the core. The air crackled with patriotism and anticipation as hundreds gathered in a grand hall draped in red, white, and blue. Banners waved proudly, flags adorned every corner, and the voices of veterans, their families, and devoted supporters filled the space with excitement. It wasn't just an event, it was a celebration of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering service, a night dedicated to honoring America's heroes. President Donald Trump took the stage, his presence commanding attention as he began delivering a speech that resonated deeply with the audience. As he spoke about the courage and resilience of the nation's military, his eyes suddenly locked onto a figure seated in the front row. There, in his decorated uniform, sat Mike Harrington, a 100-year-old World War II veteran, his frail yet dignified form radiating the strength of a man who had once fought on the front lines of history. In that moment, the energy in the room shifted. Trump's voice faltered mid-sentence, his expression softening. A moment later, he did something no one expected. He stepped away from the podium. The crowd fell silent, watching intently as Trump descended the steps and walked toward Mike. The anticipation was palpable, the only sound in the vast room being the quiet rustle of the president's footsteps. The elderly veteran, sensing the moment, gripped his cane and with effort, rose to his feet. The years had taken their toll, but his pride remained unshaken. His uniform, adorned with gleaming medals, reflected the bright lights above as he stood tall despite his age. When Trump reached him, he extended his hand in a gesture of profound respect. The two men's hands clasped, and for a moment, time seemed to pause. Then, in a voice thick with emotion, the president spoke. "Sir, we are free today because of heroes like you." A wave of emotion swept through the crowd. Some held their breath. Others wiped away tears, overwhelmed by the raw sincerity of the moment. Veterans in attendance saluted sharply, their movements crisp and full of reverence. Mike's eyes glistened as he looked at Trump, his grip firm despite his frailty. Trump then turned to the audience and declared, "This man is an American treasure." The words sent a jolt of energy through the room, igniting a deafening chorus of applause. "USA, USA." The crowd chanted, their voices unified in admiration. It was a moment that transcended politics, a pure, unfiltered expression of gratitude and patriotism. But the night wasn't over. In an unexpected move, Trump handed Mike the microphone. The room hushed instantly as all eyes turned to the century-old warrior, eager to hear the voice of living history. With steady, weathered hands, Mike took the mic, straightened his posture, and began to speak. "I was just 18 when I enlisted, barely a man, but ready to serve my country." His voice, though aged, carried the weight of 1,000 stories. He painted a vivid picture of the past, the grueling training, the nervous excitement of setting sail toward Europe, and the deafening chaos of battle. He spoke of cold nights spent in foxholes, of the terrifying roar of enemy fire, and of the unbreakable brotherhood formed in the trenches. Then, his voice trembled slightly. "We were brothers," Mike said, pausing to gather himself. "And some of those brothers didn't make it home." A heavy silence fell over the room. The weight of his words was almost too much to bear. Mike's eyes glazed over with memory, his mind filled with faces long gone but never forgotten. "I still see them," he admitted, "and I promised them that I'd live every day to honor their memory." Muffled sobs could be heard from the audience. Families clutched one another, overcome by the sheer gravity of his sacrifice. Then, Mike turned to the younger generations in the crowd, his voice gaining strength. "Freedom isn't free," he declared. "It is bought with blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Never take it for granted." His final words resonated like a battle cry from the past, urging those in attendance to remember, respect, and protect the values their country was built upon. As he lowered the microphone, there was a brief, breathtaking pause, then the room erupted in applause. People leaped to their feet. Veterans saluted in unison, their movements precise and filled with pride. Families embraced, wiping tears from their cheeks. The applause didn't stop. It was a standing ovation that felt eternal, a tribute not only to Mike, but to every soldier who had ever worn the uniform. The applause thundered on, waves of admiration rolling through the hall as President Trump returned to the podium. His expression was filled with emotion, the weight of the moment evident in his eyes. He turned back toward Mike Harrington, his hand resting on the veteran's shoulder as he spoke. "You, sir, are a true American hero. Your courage and sacrifice will never be forgotten." The crowd erupted again, their voices rising in unity. But then, in a stunning turn, Trump took a deep breath and delivered an announcement no one had expected. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. It is my great honor to award Michael Harrington the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in this nation, for his extraordinary service and lifelong dedication to honoring his fallen brothers. Gasps of awe and reverence swept through the room. For a moment, Mike froze, his weathered hands trembling slightly as he processed the significance of the moment. His eyes glistened, and as the weight of the honor settled upon him, he bowed his head humbly. Chants of USA, USA roared through the venue. Veterans saluted with solemn pride, families embraced, and some wiped away tears of gratitude. It was a scene of pure patriotism and unity, an unforgettable tribute to those who had given their all for freedom. But the impact of the moment extended far beyond the walls of that hall. Within hours, videos of the emotional handshake and Mike's heartfelt speech went viral, spreading across social media with hashtags like Honor Hero and 100-Year Hero. Americans from all walks of life shared stories of their own veteran family members, sparking a nationwide wave of reflection and gratitude. Yet, the outpouring of admiration didn't stop at words. Inspired by Mike's story, Trump introduced Operation Eternal Valor, a bold initiative dedicated to improving healthcare, housing, and mental health services for aging veterans. The proposal also promised better retirement benefits and increased support for veterans' families. Lawmakers from both parties rallied behind the effort, pushing forward bipartisan legislation to honor America's aging heroes. Advocacy groups seized the momentum, demanding better resources for retired service members and their caregivers. Beyond politics, the moment became a powerful symbol of unity, a reminder that the sacrifices of veterans transcend division. Mike's story reignited the nation's respect for its heroes, ensuring that their legacies would never fade. As the event drew to a close, Trump and Mike stood side by side, waving to the crowd as cheers of USA echoed through the hall. The image of a president and a 100-year-old warrior standing together in mutual respect left an indelible mark on history. It was a moment of honor, of gratitude, and of an unbreakable American spirit. Mike Harrington's story is more than just a tribute to a single veteran. It is a timeless reminder of the sacrifices made by those who defend freedom. His unwavering strength, even at 100 years old, teaches us that true patriotism is not measured by words alone, but by action, courage, and the willingness to stand for something greater than oneself. As he stood before the crowd, medals shimmering under the lights, we were reminded that freedom is not free. It is built on the backs of men and women who have given everything, some never returning home. His story compels us to cherish the liberties we often take for granted and to honor those who have paid the ultimate price. But perhaps the most powerful lesson is this: gratitude should not be passive, it should move us to action. Whether through supporting veterans, advocating for their care, or simply taking a moment to thank a service member, we all have a role to play. Unity is possible when we recognize our shared values, honor, sacrifice, and resilience. Let's not wait for grand gestures to show our respect. Let's carry this message forward every day, ensuring that no hero is ever forgotten. Because true patriotism lives in the way we honor those who fought for us.